Good morning and welcome. Today we are going to take a look at our shut box part drawings. We are going to end up with three pieces that we're going to draw. One is a left side, a right side, and one piece for both the top and the back. If you take a look at our drawings, they are all starting out the same way at a 1/2 inch wide, 1 3/8 tall, and going to be extruded back 9.88 inches. Let's begin. We're going to go to New in the top ribbon bar, Standard.ipt, and click Create. Then we're going to click on Start a 2D Sketch on the XY plane, and I'm going to zoom all. I'm going to begin with the rectangle tool. Make sure you start at your origin and you get your green dot. Click and begin stretching out a rectangle to the upper right hand quadrant. My first dimension is 0.5, 1/2 inch. Press Tab on the keyboard, and the height of this rectangle is 1.38. Press Enter. Then we're going to take and finish sketch. I'm going to extrude. I want to extrude in direction number 2, a distance of 9.88 inches, and select OK. Go home. Let's take a look at our drawing now. On our drawing, we have this rectangle, this slot that the bottom is going to fit into. It's 0.19 inches wide by 0.13 inches tall, and it's offset from the bottom 0.13. Let's start that part. I'm going to take a 2D sketch, put it on my front view. With my rectangle tool, I'm going to come over to the right hand side of my part. When the edge highlights, I'm going to click and start a rectangle. My horizontal dimension is 0.19. Press the Tab key on the keyboard. The vertical dimension is 0.13. And press Enter. Next, I need to locate the position of this rectangle from the bottom edge of the board, or bottom edge of my workpiece. So I'm going to select my dimension tool. I'm going to select from the bottom edge of my rectangle to the bottom of my workpiece. Bring this dimension out. This dimension is 0.13, and green check. Then we're going to finish sketch. Big green check in the upper right hand corner. And I'm going to take and extrude. If this does not automatically select that little rectangle that you drew, you can click that little rectangle when it turns red and it'll select it for extrusion. I want to select this to go direction 2. I'm going to make sure that cut button is depressed, and I want to extrude a distance and change it from distance to all, and select OK. Next, let's take a look at our drawing. There's this hole that is located for the dowel to go through and the flippers to go on. It is a 0.25 diameter through hole, and it's 1.38 inches in from the right hand side and 0.38 inches down from the top. Let's place that hole on our drawing. Starting with a 2D sketch, I'm going to place that on my right side view, zoom all, and I'm going to take and locate that hole with a point. So I'm going to click a point somewhere on the right hand part of my drawing, and now I need to dimension its location. With the dimension tool, I'm going to click my point in the right hand side of my block. When I bring that dimension up, I'm going to change my dimension to 1.38, green check mark, and then I'm going to dimension again from the point that I placed to the top of my part, and this dimension is 0.38, green check mark. I'm going to finish my sketch with the big green check mark in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to use my hole tool to create the hole. When I click the hole tool, it should automatically select that point for extrusion. If it does not, you might have to click this point right here that we placed. And then I want to change my dimension for the diameter to 0.25. And originally it's set at distance here. I want to change it from distance to through all. After I make those changes, I'm going to select OK. On my drawing I can see that the material needs to be yellow pine, and then I'm going to save it as left side. Going back to my part, up here in the top above the word environments, I'm going to select default pull down arrow, and I'm going to change my material from default material to yellow pine. Then going to the orange capital letter I in the upper left hand corner, I'm going to save as. Make sure this is going to your H drive, first initial, last name 000, and my file name that I'm going to save it as is left side. And click Save. Going back to my original blueprint, I want to take a look at the next piece down the right side. It's identical to the one that we just drew, however the hole that was on the right is now on the opposite corner. So let's begin. We're going to start out with New from our ribbon, Standard IPT, and click Create. Begin with a 2D sketch on your XY plane. Click Zoom All. I'm going to start with my rectangle beginning at my origin. Wait for that green dot, please. Click and stretch a rectangle to the upper right hand quadrant. My first dimension I'm going to type in is 0.5 for the width. Press the Tab key, and 1.38 for my height of this rectangle, and press Enter. Next I'm going to finish sketch, green triangle or green check mark in the upper right hand corner, and then I'm going to extrude. I want to extrude in direction number 2, and my extrusion distance is 9.88. And click OK. Go home. Once again, I need to have this little rectangle placed in here for the bottom of the shut box to fit into. That's 0.19 width by 0.13 height of a rectangle, and a 0.13 location dimension from the bottom up. So let's begin. Take my 2D sketch, place it on the front view. With my rectangle tool, I'm going to come to the right hand side of my part. When that edge highlights, I'm going to click, stretch out a rectangle. The width of this rectangle is 0.19. Press the Tab key. And the height of this rectangle is 0.13. Press Enter on the keyboard. Next, I want to locate its position off the bottom, so I'm going to click my Dimension tool. I'm going to select the bottom of my rectangle that I drew and the bottom of my part, and bring this dimension out to the side. This dimension is 0.13, and click the green check mark. Next, I'm going to finish sketch. Then I'm going to go and extrude. This rectangle did not automatically select, so I'm going to bring my cursor in here, and when it turns red, I'm going to click to select that rectangle. I want to go direction number 2, and I want to change it from distance to all. So I extrude all the length of it, and click OK. Let's take a look at our drawing. This hole here is 0.25 inches going all the way through, and it's located 1.38 inches in from the left hand side and 0.38 inches down from the top. So let's locate that hole. Start with a 2D sketch on my right side view. I'm going to use my point tool, place a point somewhere on my part drawing, press the Escape key. I'm going to dimension to locate this point from the point to the left hand side of my part drawing. Click to place the dimension. This dimension is 1.38, green check mark, and then I'm going to go from my point to the top of my part, bring this dimension out. This dimension is 0.38, and green check mark. I'm going to go to the top right hand corner, finish sketch, and I'm going to use my hole tool to create this hole. My diameter of the hole that I'm going to type in is 0.25, and I want to make sure my termination distance is through all, and then select OK. Referencing my drawing again, this material is yellow pine, and after I change it to yellow pine, I'm going to save it as right side. So let's do that. Going up to the top where it says default, I'm going to click on the pull down menu, and I'm going to change it from the defaulted material to yellow pine. And then I'm going to go to my orange capital letter I in the upper left hand corner, go down to save as. Make sure this is again going to your H drive, first initial last name 000. I'm going to change my file name to right side, and then I'm going to click save. Referencing my drawing for the final time, I need one more side piece drawn. This is going to be used for the top and back, and it is exactly the same as the other two that we drew, except this one does not have any holes at all. So let's begin. We're going to click New from the ribbon at the top, select Standard, and click Create. Starting with a 2D sketch on my XY plane, zoom all. I'm going to begin with my rectangle tool from the origin. Wait for the green dot, please. Stretch out a rectangle. This rectangle width is 0.5. Press the Tab key on the keyboard, and the height is 1.38. And press Enter on the keyboard. Then we're going to go to the top right hand corner, green check mark, Finish Sketch, and I'm going to extrude. Make sure we're going direction 2, and my extrusion distance is 9.88. And then select OK. Go home. Taking a look at my drawing again, there's that rectangle that we need to draw in order for the bottom to slide in there, and it's 1.19 inches wide by 0.13 inches tall, and it's located 0.13 inches up from the bottom edge. Let's make that rectangle. Use my 2D sketch, place it on the front view. I'm going to select then my rectangle tool, come over to the right hand side of my block, part drawing. When it turns to be highlighted, I'm going to click and stretch a rectangle. The horizontal distance is 0.19. Press the Tab key on the keyboard, and then I'm going to enter in my vertical distance of 0.13. Press Enter on the keyboard. Then I need to use my dimension tool, and I'm going to dimension from the bottom of the rectangle that we just drew to the bottom of your part. Bring this dimension out, and this dimension once again is 0.13 and green check mark. Going up to the right hand corner, I'm going to finish sketch with the green check mark, and then I'm going to take and extrude, and I want to extrude this little rectangle that we drew, so I'm going to click it when it turns red. I'm going to make sure I'm going direction 2, make sure my cut button is depressed, and I'm going to change it from distance to all, and then I'm going to select OK. Since this part doesn't have any other features on it, no holes, I need to change my material to yellow pine and save as top and back. So let's do that. I'm going to change my material from default, scroll all the way down towards the bottom to yellow pine. Then I'm going to go to my orange capital letter I, save as. Make sure you're going to your H drive, first initial last name 000. And my part name is going to be top and back. And then I'm going to select Save. Next, you're going to create your washer, the dowel, the bottom, and your flippers. Good luck.